Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Space Engineers from Earth to Space. I'm Lord Wraith, your host, and I'd like to welcome you to the next episode. So, as you can see from the screen, we have made some progress. So let's jump straight into it and see what's happened. Okay, so in the last episode I said to you that I would build the Remora miner, and as you can see, there she is. Not quite ready to go yet, because we have to put some uranium uh, in the reactors. And as you can see, the lander has shrunk. That's right. One of the things that I said to you that I wouldn't be using the lander, or you could use the lander in any way, shape, or form. What I do is, obviously, I've cannibalized the lander. The main parts of the lander are still there, so let me get into the character. Oh, we'll turn that volume down a little bit on the sounds. Hang on a second. There we go. That's better. And let's get a little bit of the music going. There we go. We can at least hear a little bit. So, like I said, as you can see, we've made some progress. Let's go into this. Let's check our bottles. Right, okay. So, like I said, as you can see, we've made some progress. The Remora is almost ready to go. It just needs some uranium for the reactors, and then once we've done that, we can then cut a free once we start the engines off the pedestal. And as for the lander, as you can see, the lander's been virtually cannibalized of a lot of its steel. I didn't cheat. Obviously you could use Creative or Space Master to go to Creative Tools, plonk the damn thing down, or super do it. But obviously I'm trying to show you how to do this to get from the Earth back up into space as quickly as possible. So what's the plan today? Well, the plan today is we are going to take some of the uranium that's in this, so let's go in there. Now, as you can see, I have done some more mining. We've also got a blast furnace going here to help with the nickel, cobalt and steel. Now, a blast furnace is a very useful piece of kit as and when you want to start things going for high volume. So as you can see, we're pumping out uranium. I did a little more mining on the uranium. I've got 36.6k here. We've got gold, some more iron, magnesium, which we're going to use later on for weapons. We've got the silver there. We have to go and get some more of that. We've got plenty of that. Silicon and stone. So if we come down to the reactor, as you can see, we've got 24. Now we've got 5 small reactors, so we're going to take 20, and we're going to divide that. So there you go, we drop right down. But because we're pumping out uranium on the refinery, and that's the only thing we're doing, it's just refining that on the arc furnace, it shouldn't be any problems in that regard. So let's get over to this now. Excuse me a second. Sorry about that. Just chasing my daft cat around, who decides that he wants to go out. It's been hailing and snowing and horrible weather here right now, and he wants to go out, and obviously it's not the weather for it right now. So let's get back to what we were saying. What we're going to do now is we're going to put some uranium into the reactors and get this ship flying. So as you can see, easiest way to do that is just go to the thing, and we can then bring up all the reactors we've got. So the first thing to do is just, obviously, easiest way of that, drop it all in. Now by doing that, straight away we've literally dropped it straight into that reactor. So now once we've done that, we can now literally power it off into all the other reactors. So we've got a problem with a small reactor there, which I think is the main reactor at the back there. So let's go 4. 4. 4. And 4. Now that other reactor, this one, the small reactor which we can't access, is our reactor that's back here, which is this one here. So as you can see, we've got everything ready to go. We're going to remove this connector, lower it down when we get everything ready to go. So first thing we're going to do is turn the engines on and just literally get it hovering. So remora engines, turn on, and one of the other things we're going to do is the power pack. It's on discharge right now, so we should be okay. So come out of here, and then everything's running. Yep. Grab our grinder. Now before we do anything, make a save, make sure everything's fine, so if we do encounter any problems, we should be alright. So there we go. As you can see, we've been fine. So now the next thing to do is to disconnect. Now as you see here, if I show you on 4 and 5, we've got it set up that I can just literally turn the rear connector on and off. So that does help when you need to sort things out. So whoops. So hang on, let's get forward a little bit. Now don't forget there we go. And as quickly as possible, let's turn them off so we don't have any issues. Okay, and we can also turn reactors off to save on the possibility of problems with that. Now, why we've done this, very simple. As you can see, we've already burnt a hole into the platform. The reason that's happened literally is because at the end of the day we're dealing with the thrusters down at the bottom. So the quickest and easiest way to deal with that is to do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop that in there, grab some steel, and then we're going to create a new platform like this. Now I'm doing this like this because at the end of the day we're going to be using this as our main platform. So let's get rid of this inner row, we don't need it. And then we can quickly weld up. Now as you look at the tools I'm using, I've got the more advanced. Now because I've already mined most of the ores that are required or that you can find on planet, like silver, gold, magnesium, silicon, cobalt, iron and nickel, I can now go to tier 2 tools without any troubles, which really does help, especially when you're doing things like this. The one thing I've noticed is the tier tools, hand tools, actually seem to be quicker than the main tools, or the main welders. I mean, I can actually quite agree with things that Sage has said, that it's perhaps high time now that Keen started developing the tier tools for the machines. So perhaps it's time for us to have tier tools on the drills, the welders and the grinders, so that when we build chips it would be a lot easier. So there you go, we've now got here. Now if you're wondering why is there a merge block here, well the reason there's a merge block is this remora was part of another ship, and you can remove the merge block. It's not essential to this machine, but if you want to get off and go into space, it will help you to take your miner with you, or if you want to relocate you can literally build your ship, put a merge block on it, drop down, pick it up, and it's obviously, as long as it's big enough to not to do any damage to the miner, you can transport it anywhere on the planet that you want to do. So there we go. Let's test this and make sure that we can reconnect back up onto the platform. So here we go. Reactors back on, engines back on, and why are we not moving? Okay, this is interesting. Okay, so landing legs on, unlock, they're unlocked. So this is interesting, what's happened here? There we are. Oh, wonder what happened there. That was interesting. I've never come across that before. Never. Wow. Wonder what that was all about. Another very nice bug in the game. So we back her up nicely, nice and gentle. We can put 5 on, back her up, and she should connect. Or when she gets in, she'll connect. So now we can settle her back down, and again we can turn the reactors off to save any problems. And again, one of the other big things is obviously once you've got it in place, one of the things I would recommend is just simply extending it out on the bottom like this, and then using this when we move her next time. She should be ready to go. Should have done that before, but never mind. Right. Okay, now the other thing is obviously this is where we can dump, we're going to be dumping in. So what we're going to do, as you can see, I've started prepping it, but eventually what we're going to do is we're going to put our refineries, our assemblers and everything else, we're going to take it from there and we're going to put it on here. But in the meantime, until we do, what we can do is extend this tube out. We can put a tube, let me go this way, and let's just weld this up. Put a connector on the end, it would help. Now, why do it this way? Well, until we're ready to go, until we've got more uranium in the system, we can't power the platform, so this is going to be the only way to power the platform. So also, because we've been putting a lot of stuff inside of here, things like all our equipment and stuff like that, we can use the miner later on to transfer all our stock away from here and into our new base. Even if it's a simple temporary one, it will help. So I don't think I need. Let's put that on one of those. I've got a feeling that should be enough for what we need. Construction components still. A few more construction components. There we go. Now, when you go mining, one of the things I would advise straight away is be aware. Now, carry some stock with you. I know it sounds daft, but by carrying stock, you're going to need it in the event that you break down or anything does happen. So what we're going to do straight away is you have to now choose what you mine. So what are the priorities? Well, for me, I've always said uranium is the biggest priority. Uranium, get uranium as quickly as possible. You've done your mining, you've got everything set up like this, go for uranium as quickly as possible, because it's the uranium at the end of the day is providing the vast majority of your power, and that's what you're going to need. So again, let's take that off, let's get our engines going, let's get that up. And again, we're encountering the same problem. Hello. We're not going anywhere. Well, what on earth is this all about? Well, there's an interesting little thing. We have now hit a glitch. Engines are not working. Oh. Well, I'm going to have to stop the recording here, because obviously with engines not working, we're going nowhere fast. Oh, welcome to Space Engineers Steam. There we go. Oh, we've got it. Hang on. Oh, we've got it. Oh, well, that's, like I said, that's always interesting. Steam, Space Engineers. Don't you just love Keen's approach to things? Right, okay. So, like I said, the first thing to do, get our HUD up, and we're going to go mine some uranium. Now, I know there's uranium over here, so let's get going over here. Now, one of the things I will always say is, if you're going to mine with these machines, there's several ways you can do it. The smaller machine will allow you to point straight down, no problems whatsoever. You can, and away you go. That's it. Great, wonderful, fantastic. With this is a strip mining, which means that you're going to have to come out to come further. So by that, what do I mean? Well, I'll show you. You come down and then you're literally going to be strip mining towards where everything is. It does have some advantages by doing it that way, but there are also other disadvantages. So I shall show you both this particular, what the advantages with this one is. And one of the beautiful advantages with this one is you can literally get down and mine in straight lines, and you don't have to worry about whether you're upside down, putting engines in multiple directions, that sort of stuff. And you can also create, especially if you're playing with the walls, if you do it right, you can also create a wall around your base, or rather a trench around your base, and not have to worry about the stupid walls coming in at you. So that is one of the massive advantages with doing it this way. Strip mining. So we go along like this, and obviously we're right clicking, so it's going to be one of the easiest. It's going to be a massive trench, allowing us to maneuver. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this, I'm going to carry on recording anyway, but in the editing I'm going to cut it out, and you don't need to see me do all this, but I'm going to cut this out and we'll come back to it later. So as you can see, for those who are interested, this is what we do. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and as you can see, we've done some mining. If we just look behind us, we've already dug the tunnel. I'll show you how I've done this and the reason why I've done it this way, but you'll see that there is a method to the madness, especially with this particular design. That's the way to do it with this particular machine. Let's get our ejectors on. Now, like I said, we've got ejectors down at the bottom, which will throw out stone. And if we go into first person, you can see that as we drill, you can see the uranium is already at 40 odd. Stone's at 500 and increasing, but the beauty about this particular design is that as much stone as you will be picking up, you will be getting rid of it as quickly as. So let's get some drilling done, shall we? Now, like I said, one of the things I would love to see, and I know that a number of other gamers have said exactly the same thing, they would love to see tiered tools or tiered machines in regards to this. I am no different. I would obviously, if I can right click and create this massive hole, then why can't I just simply get a tiered tool that allows me to drill at a higher rate? I can do it with my hand tools, why not my machine tools? It just doesn't seem to make sense to me. I know that there was at one stage an adapter you could put on but it's a mod. It was a mod created by Steam, or by Keen should I say, way back before we had planets. It was a mod that that Keen produced. Instead of putting it directly into the game, they said, no, we'll put it out as a mod for the community. It did do that. It allowed you to upgrade and whatnot. your drills, your things like also your gyros and stuff like that. It allowed you to do all of that, but it's a mod, and to me it was very, very disappointing that Keen did that. I would have preferred them to have put this as a direct something directly into the game for it all. But that's Keating. That was their decision, and obviously, they decided that that would be the way they would go. So as you can see, we're dumping stone at a fast rate, but we've already collected 115 kilograms of uranium very, very quickly. Whilst we're waiting for that to dump, we'll come out of that, and as you can see, we're drilling nicely into that seam of uranium there. So whilst that's doing that, let me go and show you what I've done here and explain the reasons why I've done it with this particular machine, with this particular design. This design is a strip miner, as I said. As you can see, it didn't take me very long. I've only had to do more or less 3 passes. I've created at both ends turning points. Now, luckily, the design lends itself for the machine to literally turn in a very, very small space, which it can do there, and it can, because it's a large grid machine, it can obviously strip mine very, very quickly. If at any stage later on you want to come back and get rid of this sort of stuff here, these excesses, it wouldn't take much for you to do so. I mean, whilst we're waiting for the stone, we can even do it by hand. But why waste the time and the energy when we can bring our machine out afterwards and we can literally strip that cord off there. So as you can see, it didn't take long for it to go down very, very quickly, and like I said, if you wanted to, you could literally put a trench all the way around your base to protect you from the wolves. This is the ideal machine for doing it. It will literally create if you go 2 levels deep, then believe you me, no wolf is going to get through, and you can save yourself a whole load of time and energy regards to ammunition and stuff like that. So as you can see, underneath we've got our 4 ejectors. Now those ejectors are just getting rid of the stone. You can quickly set this up to just get rid of stone or get rid of ice. It depends on how you feel. But like I said, it doesn't take long for it to do this sort of stuff. And the beauty about it is, this is, like I said, the smallest machine I've found I could make in the game using a large grid to enable me to mine at a hell of a high rate, which is what I want, because that's the name of the game. Unfortunately, it's mine. Get as much ore as possible, as quickly as possible, because it's the only way to do it. So whilst we were waiting for that, obviously at the same time, as you can see, our batteries are being stored, or rather they've moved across from if we go to the Remora power pack, as you can see now, they're charging up. One of the things we have to be careful of now, obviously, will be our uranium, until we get more uranium into the pot. Now, luckily enough, because we've got 5 reactors, it doesn't use a lot of uranium. So, I mean, we're already down, as you can see, it's moving down very quickly. What I would recommend is, on this particular thing, on your first one, once you've got the uranium into the reactors, just maintain a watch on it, because don't forget, if you run out of uranium, the batteries will not hold this high enough for long enough. So as you can see, our uranium is running down very, very quickly here, or it's running down. I would look at it and say, right, when we get down to 2, that's the time to call it a day. Now, luckily for this design, it doesn't rely purely on batteries, but the batteries are not fully essential to the drill, to the machine. So you can, the batteries add as or work as an additional boost to the miner. Like a lot of my equipment that I've published on the workshop, the batteries are there to help, but they are not essential to work in the machine. Like on the Pike has been designed, which is my second one, which was designed purely and simply to allow you to mine just purely on reactors. Same as this one. When the batteries run down, the reactors kick in full time. In the meantime, obviously, you can be doing this. So what we're going to do, we've got over 115k. The stone's almost gone. I'm not going to take this any further on this one until I get more uranium, and whilst that's cooking, back at the base, we'll see. Right, so that's that done. Let's get our engines up and running. And again, we've got that silly little thing. Let's come out of this. Now, like I said, one of the nice things about this is the remora has created a very nice hole, so you can back out very easily, very quickly, without having to worry about bumping into things. So we've got it on a slight tilt backwards, which gives us our boost. So now this thing can carry up to 1.5 million tons of ore. I have tested it to that level, believe it or not. So that's 1.5 million, not stone, just 1.5 million of ore that this machine is fully capable of carrying. Now, can you imagine mining at that level, that easy? So let's get out of here. And again, as you can see, one of the beauties about the remora is she is very, very maneuverable in tight spaces. And for a miner, that's literally what you want. You want a machine that literally can swing itself almost literally in its own length. Well, one of the things I'm going to do here is to help clear up this entrance so that when we do come back, I've got more. Obviously, I'm going to have to be aware currently right now that my reactors are running low. So let's just quickly clear this out with the right click. And there we go. So that's done. So again, we can maintain. The beauty about it, like I said, is the remora has done all of this. The hard work's been done. So if we wanted to, as you can see, we can clear up the side with no troubles whatsoever. That's it. Now I'll go this way for the simple reason being it'll help me to remove this burr that's on the mine edge, and at the same time I'm heading in the right direction back to my base. So right now I've just switched over the batteries that are there anyway, what's left, to ensure that I've got sufficient power. My reactors are not going to run dry too quickly. So she is pretty forgiving if you do go a little bit too fast. I mean, as you can see, I'm running more or less at 3 meters per second. Now most miners, okay, I'm right clicking to do that, but most miners, if you did that, they will not forgive you for crashing or banging into things. With this one, it's not. I think to a certain degree, it's the design. So there you go. We've come out. Let's get back to the base. So we've got rid of our rock. Now, one thing I will say is be very careful on this one. What we're going to do is, don't forget, we've got to put the additional ends to the skids. So let's drop it down. There we go. 6. Knock off the reactors just for the time being. In the meantime, let's get over here. We can put those missing parts that we have on here. Now, oh, we have to steel. Yes, we're out of steel plates. So let's go and get some steel plates. We can also get a new bottle whilst we're there. So first thing to do, let's just drop off these. Do that. And then we've got, we can fulfill the needs here. Get them welded in. All this does literally is just provide additional guide to the ramp. So there we go. Now let's have a look, see how much uranium on the system we have. So can we afford to hook up straight away? Well, we're down to 2, so I would say yes, we can afford to do that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pull the reactors back up. Again, for some reason, there we go. For some reason, there seems to be a little fault on Space Engineers right now, not wanting to take off. Well, that's an interesting little bug. We'll have to report that. So let's guide this back gently. There we go. Now we'll look and we'll simply transfer out of here and we'll put it straight away into our additional cargo. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I don't want to be hovering the mine on here. If I try to lock that in, because it's not a station, it will pull what's left of the ship over, and truth be told, that is not something I want to do. So there we go. Let's back it up now. We can watch our thrust to know that we're roughly in the right place. Just gently maneuver her back. There we go. Now we could turn off our engines, and obviously we won't make any connection at the moment because the system has no power. So there you go. Let's knock off the reactors for the time being. We can also knock off the gyros, and we can leave it at that. Let's take the lights off, and let's turn the ore detector off. So there you go, folks. That's how easy it is with this machine to mine. Let's go and have a look, see what we've accomplished. Again, now you understand why I say to you it's important to carry multiple bottles of hydrogen with you whenever you go anywhere, because now we're at the space where, or we're at the time now where things like this start to happen. We're dealing with shear drops. So there you go. We've got this big, nice, lovely little trench. This now will provide, if you want to do an underground base or anything else like that, you can now start doing it. You can now start building bases, putting things down. And as you can see, we've only just started penetrating the layer on the uranium, and we've already picked up 110 or 111 kilos of ore. So as you can see, it's useful in a lot of ways, these miners. What we're going to do now, or what I'm going to do now, is I'm going to do some more mining. I'll do that off camera, and when you come back, what I hope to have now, or what I intend to do, is I'm going to take the rest of this down, get rid of it, and we're going to expand at the back here. We're going to put our med bay, our reactor, our refinery and stuff like that. We're also always going to have to, because I can't recycle batteries in this, we're going to have to create 4 new batteries, transfer the solar panels to the base, to this temporary base, and then just take it from there. But in the meantime, until we've got plenty of uranium to do a second run, we'll just leave this literally cooking the uranium, and hopefully that will provide us then with everything we need to go on and do some more mining. As you see, 115. That's not bad for a first run out, and we've already got 22. So I mean, if we wanted to, we could go back out straight away. But let's ideally, what I want to do is I'm gonna have at least 20 to 25 uranium in each reactor, just to be on the safe side, and also it will allow me to do more mining in a longer period of time. So in the meantime, folks, like I said, I'm going to do some more work offline. Hopefully we'll see you. I'll see you again soon. Thank you very much. Bye bye.